O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost like me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajdah House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1 ounce 39 millimeter coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahhouse.com.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
You're tuned in to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show with your host, myself, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I am a multi-million-dollar business developer. I have developed business and real estate around the world, and I want to share with you my mental strategies, my technical strategies, and how I made it in the world of business. So I don't teach theory. I tell you about my life and introduce you to people who can also share with you what they've done to become successful. This is a practical show. This ain't a theory show. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned. Peace and blessings, family. I apologize. We're a little wonky today. I'm out of town. I'm in a hotel with a little sluggish internet. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you all can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me okay in the chat, and we will get started if you all can hear me. Y'all know I'm not at home. I'm drinking out of a paper cup. I don't like eating or drinking out of anything paper or plastic. Okay, thank you for the thank you for the thumbs up. So anyway, we've had a beautiful and wonderful week. Thank you to everyone in the chat, Brother Carlos, Regional Sky Girl, Alaikum Salam, Sister Alita, Brother Lamont. Welcome, welcome. I tell y'all have all these names. Bon Marie. Okay, well, that's my mama. Hey, Mom. Y'all have all these y'all social media handles. Some of them you can't repeat, and then some of them it's hard to make out. But anyway, just so I know you all are there, and thank you, thank you, thank you. So I came to a birthday party for my aunt who is turning 80. And you all know, if you know me, you know I live for a surprise. So she had no idea that that I was coming. I think she kind of knew my mom was coming, but she didn't really know that I was coming. And I was hugging her and holding her, and I thought she was gonna have a heart attack. Oh man. But it's a good time and it's exciting. Somebody said, I hear you with the hotel situation. That will be me next week. Yeah, you just got to roll with it. I mean, I didn't want to show y'all a rerun today because I said, you know what? This is a different type of channel. Sometimes I get a little bit, I reject just like overproduction because I want this show to be organic and responsive, and I want you all to be able to feel me. I want us to feel like this is where we can touch and talk with each other. The other shows, like the Mind of an Entrepreneur show, that's going to move into more of a full-on production show. But this show, even when we move to a network, hint, hint, I'm going to try to keep it as, interactive and organic as possible without being overproduced. So that's why I was like, you know what? Nope, we're going to do it. Whatever happens, whatever it looks like. The background ain't all that cute, but it's okay. You know what? So this week, what do we do this week? We had Tyree on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. He became a father of twins. His project, The Last Supper, came out, and his son, Noah Jamal, was born on the same day. So shout out to Brother Tyree, Brother Chris, his management team, everybody. So go out there, make sure you go to Spotify and download. Make sure you subscribe and like to this channel. Make sure you make at least a donation of any kind. And Mo today, you got the Cash App going on. And make sure you sign up for my mailing list. All you have to do is text DO4SELF, DO the number 4 SELF to 855-574-9099. Hey, Brother Kevin. So, you know what I've been realizing, that a lot of us, you can see it in us, we've just given up. We've given up trying to control our weight. We've given up trying to maintain our health. We don't even some of us don't even try to look cute anymore. We've just given up. And so I asked myself the question, I said, Why is it that we give up? Some of us don't want to open a business anymore. Some of us don't want to try to work, to do anything anymore. And we are now, a lot of us are in a situation that if somebody don't just come give us something, we can't get it. And what is that? So some would say it's a depression. And I would say it's definitely probably a form of depression when you're not fighting anymore to live, because that's really what that is. You know, when you give up on your health and you just let yourself go, that means you're not fighting anymore to live. You're just like, just let me just let death take me slowly. That's really what we're saying. Some of us say, you know, well, I don't even want to try to spruce myself up anymore. I don't even care. We should be sprucing ourselves up and taking care of ourselves till the day we die. We leave this earth. I don't care if we're 150 years old. That's what we should be doing. We should be doing things that are going to enhance us. We should be trying to figure out, how can I get more out of this life? And I think it's multifactorial. I'm going to play a little clip in a minute of something Sister Ava says about that. Brother Lamont said, I will never give up. Appearance is all, and it's hard work. The rewards are priceless. That's right. You can't ever give up. Not just your appearance, but your health. You can't give up on life. You can't give up knowing that God is here for you and with you. But sometimes when you see our people, you just see that we just gave up. And the thing about it is, here's the deal. I think when we disconnect, and I know this, we really disconnect from God. And when you disconnect from God, when you give up, you don't believe that he's going to do for you, that he's going to do better, that he's going to take care of you, that he's always with you. You give up on that. And when you give up, you know what happens when you disconnect? You lose your ability to create. See, doing more, whether you want to have a business, whether you want to live more, you got to be creative. We live in a system with forces and systemic issues and racism that is designed to take us down. But the mere fact that we're still here, despite all of that, I'm not even just talking about slavery. Forget that. Go, let that go. You just start rolling it forward and think about what has happened since then. What's happening now? So when you decide, I'm giving up, I'm sorry, you give up the ability. Sorry, I was trying to cue up my my talk with Sister Ava, but you give up the ability to create your way out of that situation. You give up that ability. See, if you look at this as a big old math problem that our people have been solving and surviving, we should have been extinct by now. They're working on it, putting our brothers in jail, destroying the Black family in whatever mechanism they can, driving us off all crazy. Some of us just give up because we're tired of the stress. We find us a nice little comfortable pocket to lay in and we stay there. But it's because we're thinking about struggling our way up out of it, fighting our way up out of it. And that's part of it. But it starts with the mind. And we have to be creative. We got to create our way up out of this. There's no problem on the planet that we cannot solve and that cannot be solved with the alignment of Almighty God Allah. No problem. So when we have to keep creating, you lost your job, sit down and create. Your business is failing, look, sit down, get quiet, get creative. You need more money, get creative. You don't feel good and something you're doing, you can't figure out what it is, we'll create. But why do we have these creative blocks? See, a creative block, this is another thing. Before I go into that, let me say this. And I talked a little bit about this. When I was in West Africa, specifically in Benin, and seen the slave malls and started reading and studying about it. And in those slave malls, when they would take the slaves, walk them across the burning sand, and after they got sophisticated, it went from just snatch and grab to a more sophisticated system. So now there's a system. Okay, we're going to take this person. This person comes from herding. We're going to take that person, and that person is a rice farmer. We're going to take that person. And so we were categorized. So when the slave traders and brokers, because that's what they were, when the slave brokers and traders went to many of these malls and castles, as the system became more sophisticated, we were categorized based on occupation. This one will make a good housewoman. This one will make a good breeder. This one can work in the rice plantations. This one can work in the cotton fields. This one is a good shoemaker. That one is good at medicine. And so we were divided up. And the reason why we were labeled and divided up is so that the brokers could know how to sell us. So they didn't just random go, oh, here's a person. It got to the point where the brokers knew and were able to market us and sell us based on how they felt like their end user or that customer could utilize us. Or if they had a customer that says, hey, my shoemaker died. Well, here's a slave that would be a good shoemaker or a good blacksmith or whatever. Could have been because that's where you came from and that was the profession of your people. That's why shortly after slavery, there's a book that talks about this. Statistically, most slaves went back to the same trades that they had before, that they were doing before they were captured and kidnapped and brought here. Why is that? Because it's just innate. It was just genetic in them. And many of them actually had no memory because it had been hundreds of years. But the study showed that post-slavery, when we were setting up Black Wall Street and all that, a lot of the people, the trades that they chose were trades that they were doing before they were brought over. Part of that is because during the more modern part of the slave trade, that's how they purchased us. So now you fast that forward. You go to school and somebody tells you you're an artist. They tell you, okay, you got this degree, now you're an accountant. You go out, you fill out applications, you go out on LinkedIn, whatever site you use, you go to interviews at Career Day. And what do people say? What are you? Who are you? I get that all the time from people. Who are you? What are you? I come up with something just so that I can satisfy and check that box. But we then become categorized. Now, employers, same system, says, okay, I need a project manager. I need an accountant. I need a lawyer. I need a doctor. And so we're already labeled as that. And then we go into the workforce and we pretty much then just trade time for dollars based on how they've labeled us and what it is that we allegedly do. But what happens to, and this is one of the things that has been a goal of mine, I've been working on for the last 10 years. I want to be able to sustain and maintain myself based on who I am. What about being creative? What about saying, you know, I'm going to think outside the box? How many people went to school for one thing, but they actually do something else, or they have some kind of hybrid way in which they do things? Even when it comes to business. See, the new business now that's making money is when you start to infuse industries together. I love doing that kind of thing. That's why you see product placement in video and in movies. And you may walk into a business and at the front counter, they're selling something else, because we want to move into being a little bit more fluid. But why is it that as Black people, we struggle with that creativity and we literally have creator's block? Why do we have these creators block? Because that's really what that is. We've given up. We say, oh, I used to work at the factory. The factory's closed now, and I don't know how to do anything else. So I'm just going to sit home, and hopefully they'll send me my pension, and hopefully they'll send me, I can get Social Security. Hopefully I can get some disability, and I just don't move around no more. I just sit here, and my whole life revolves around whether or not that check is going to come from them every 2 weeks. But whatever happened to being creative? Whatever happened to get up and moving and doing something? Maybe you can't walk no more. Maybe you can't run no more, but you got a brain. You can think, you can be creative, you can get yourself reconnected to Almighty God Allah. So the idea here, what we're talking about today, is how to remove that creator's block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play like a quick, I think it's a 3 or 4 minute excerpt from Sister Ava talking about a creative block and how to remove it. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. Okay.
As we feel insecure in any way,
thumbs up if you can hear.
In regard to basic needs, your survival mechanism is working. Now, as long as your survival mechanism is on green, your creative mechanism is shut down. You and I cannot create as long as we are struggling just to survive. And we will always struggle to survive when we have an every man for himself mentality. This is why the essence of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is to do for self.
Y'all heard that? The creative block comes from living in survival mode. And Black people are so powerful. You see us all around the world. We're scratching and surviving and still being creative, still creating culture, still finding a way out of no way. Imagine if we can find a way to just move past that survival mode just a little bit, just a little bit more. Remember, your mind travels at the average rate of what? 24 billion miles per second. I always say, people, you don't need that many seconds of alignment to travel far. You can get it done a second. If you got the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. So you just need one mustard seed. You just need 1 second of being in the right mindset. That's how easy it is, family. But when we get ourselves in that mode of I'm giving up, now we're sick. Now the survival, the energy that we need to survive overpowers the energy that we need to create. What happens if we just give up? Can't work at the factory no more. I can't figure out what to do. Do something. Sell water out on the corner. Get online. Figure out something. I was on a plane and I was listening. There was nobody Black on the plane coming here. And the people around me were really friendly. And I was pretending to be asleep because I didn't really want to talk. But I was listening to them. And I was listening at how creative they are when it comes to survival. So creative that they don't even mind being wicked about it. One guy was saying he put a proposal together for his company so he could work from home. And he worked from home during the pandemic, still working from home. Then he started another business. And now the other business is making more money than the business he had where he was working from home. There was another lady next to him that was behind me. And she said, yeah, I did that too. I went online and responded to a proposal and got me a online job. And I just been traveling and doing my online job while I'm traveling around the world. And so I was just listening to this kind of conversation. And I get out in the airport and I see us depressed. We limping, we sick, we don't feel good. But white folks is creating their way. They trying to find a way to create their way up out of this fall. But guess what? Ain't no creating up out of this for them. Unless they come and join on with us, because we already know what our future is. So what I'm saying to you all is, don't give up. Stop giving up. Tell yourself right now, today, I'm not giving up no more. I'm going to continue to create my way to my next level. I'm going to create my way into heaven. What? Heaven on this earth. I'm going to create my way up out of that. How am I going to do that? I'm going to get the right mindset. I want to get the right teachings in my brain. And if I know certain teachings, like the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, if I know certain teachings and I know certain principles, I'm going to live it. I'm going to be it. And more importantly, I'm going to be myself while I'm doing it. I'm going to find a way to find myself. See, because yourself wants to survive. Most of us are not wise enough to just be sitting here going, oh, I think I just want to move to another multidimensional space. Unless we're just highly spiritual. I heard Sister Ava say that some of us don't want to be in this dimension anymore. But most of us are still enjoying the materialization of being here. Unless we've given up and we're waiting to die. And even if we gave up, most of us are afraid of death. So why not live? Why not be happy about life? Why not live and love while you're here? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking me about my affinity with horses. And I said, you know what? I said, and this is probably going to sound, sometimes people talk to me and they say, oh God, here she go with this spooky stuff. I'm going to tell y'all a funny story about that from yesterday. But they like, okay, here she go with this spooky stuff. By the way, did y'all get your Mind of an Entrepreneur sweatshirts? Make sure you go get them. It's gonna be nice to rock for the winter. Anyway, that just popped in my head. But anyway, some people talk to me and they go, okay, here I'm talking to her. She's so spooky. I used to get embarrassed by that, but I don't care. And I said to this person, I said, every time I have materialized on this earth, I have been with horses. He just got quiet. I said, that's the truth. Because I know that I've materialized here on this earth a number of times. I can feel the essence of the 66 trillion years that we as a people have been evolving. And I'm enjoying materializing and creating and being aware of my presence amongst the sun, moon, and stars. And so giving up is not an option, because that's when you think that your essence is finite. But your essence is infinite. So you want to continue to create, continue to evolve, continue to work your way towards total submission and creation and being Allah. Y'all get that? Tell me in the chat if you get that. See, you can't give up because you got work to do. I don't care if you start painting. See, white folks around here starting businesses at 60, becoming millionaires and billionaires at 65. But we sitting around giving up because the white man told us you got to go retire and just get your paycheck and go lay down. Because he's done with us. That's a slave mentality. Slave master's done with you after you can't produce like you used to. So he said, go retire. Go sit down. Go lay down. Go give up. Oh, you should be getting close to retirement. About to get close to the end of your life. Listen, stop seeing yourself and your life through the eyes of the slave master. He's done with you, so you done with you. He done fired you. He done let you go. I don't know whose word this is today, but he done fired somebody. He done let somebody go. He done divorced you. He done caused you to have some kind of problem. Now you done gave up on your whole self. Sometimes those things happen because Allah is just trying to bring you closer to him. So if they fired you today, instead of going home, I know it's rough. Instead of going home and going, how am I going to do this? Go home and say, okay, God, how can I get closer to you? What do you want? Why did you allow this? And what is it in me? Did I do something? And if I did, help me to correct it so I can allow you to use me. So stop looking at through your eyes and valuing yourself based upon the way the white man's world values you. Maybe you're a little darker. Maybe you're a little thicker. They ain't thick as us. They ain't curvy as us. They're not brown as us. So it's a different perspective. So stop seeing yourself through that lens. Stop looking at yourself like that. We talk about not wanting to be slaves, not wanting to do for self, but then we act like slaves. You better get out here and create. That's why I appreciate the fact when they talk about, oh, Jamaicans be having 8 jobs. That's just being creative. That's just being, I'm not telling everybody to go out here and get 8 jobs. This is not all in the context of jobs and what you do, but I know it's something we can relate to in terms of even money. Money is just energy. So stop looking at it like you'll never have enough. You ain't got. Talk about what you got and what you've manifested. I tell you all the time, whenever I'm trying to calibrate myself to my ability to manifest money, I look around at what I have. Just start with what you got on. I manifested enough to get this beret. I manifested enough to get this hair done. I manifested enough to put these diamonds on my neck. I manifested enough to get this Samsung smartwatch and these spiritual beads. I manifested enough to buy this caftan and this tunic in Africa. I manifested enough to be in a hotel today, to be talking to you on an iPhone. So keep talking about what you've done and what you know you can do more of, and calibrate yourself to that. Not, I don't know if I can pay this bill, because if you can't pay it, you just can't pay it. But what you can do is fix your mind so that you can put yourself in a better creative position so that maybe you can pay it. I feel like saying amen. That's how I feel. Talk to me in the chat. Let me know what y'all thinking about this. Listen, let's get our minds right. Let's stop giving up. Let's stop letting the enemy win. Let's stop giving them victory after victory after victory after victory. They're getting systemic victories around here. Victory after victory. Let's come together. You got people, somebody was talking to me the other day and they were saying that they purchased a property that was on a foreclosure list, and the state that they live in, you have to go and show up in court because I think there were some tax issues involved. And he said that there were 10 people there, and of the 10, 7 were older Black women. He said it wasn't number big mama and them down there, losing their houses, fighting for their houses. Let's pool our resources together. And from that, he said he decided to be creative and to start a community fund from his barbershop where he would start helping people in the community, older women in the community who were by themselves, who might be in a position where they're about to lose their house. So he put his creativity to work when he was down there buying a foreclosed property. When he said he saw Big Mom and them all in the line, he said, and they just had gave up. They was like, just do what y'all gonna do, because I can't take it no more. He said there was only one that was there that was fighting. He said the rest of them, you could just see it in their body language. They was giving up. And I said, and I know we tired of fighting this system and fighting this beast. But I don't care if you don't do nothing but imagine being a winner in your mind. Close your eyes and see yourself winning. Close your eyes and see yourself in a different space. Close your eyes and feel what it will feel like when you overcome that problem that you're facing. If you're sitting here right now and you got a headache, close your eyes and feel what it's going to feel like when you don't have that headache anymore. Feel what it's going to feel like when your stomach don't hurt no more. When you can just walk down the street knowing that you're free from pain. Just imagine that, because it starts with a thought. Imagine yourself after you get fired opening up your own business. And if you can't even think about what that business is, the how is not your problem. Don't worry about it. See yourself happy with your family, high-fiving your family because you made it. You did good. I call it emotionalization, because it's okay to visualize, but you can't visualize and then be saying to yourself, man, I ain't got it yet, but I'm going to get it. I see it. It ain't here. See, you're putting more emphasis on the fact that it's not there. Negative stuff that has happened in your life, you don't have to talk about that stuff no more. Do not give that more of your energy. See, what happens is we like to talk about it. We like to post about it. We like to call person and share about it. What happens? All you're doing is putting that energy out into the universe. That's what's coming back to you. But put out in the universe that you're on the track to being a billionaire. You're a billionaire. Put on the track, put on the universe that you're happier, healthier, wealthier, and you're experiencing more love. Put out there. See, this is why I love the internet and social media, and I love the metaverse and creating on this level. Why? Because you can put out there whatever and whoever you want to be. And if you start that momentum going, you get to the point where who you want and what you want and where you want to go and what you want to do and how you want to have it and what you want to have it becomes more dominant in your thoughts than your pain and what you've been through. You start hurting, go there. Then all of a sudden, you're going to be vibrating at a level that is higher than the pain level. When the pain is not so much in your consciousness, we're not so focused on surviving all the time. Now we can create. We can create more. But see, I'm telling you one thing about us, we know how to create, even when we survive it. So imagine how far and how much more creative we will get when we get out of survival mode. I'm just waiting for paycheck. When is payday? I'm just waiting. I can't wait. And that's all we thinking about. It's the 1st, and we can't wait till the 15th. So from between the 2nd and the 14th, that's all we thinking about is the 15th. And within that period of time, that 2nd through the 14th, all we're thinking about is what we don't have and what we're going to do with what we get on the 15th. Well, guess what? You're going to continue that cycle because you spent more days in the month thinking about what you don't have than what you do have and what you could have. So you can't give up. See, once we get on that hamster wheel, that's what makes us give up. And I don't know how to change this. You might be in a position with something dealing with something that's so heavy that you don't really ever see yourself getting out of it. And you know in the back of your mind, this situation is unsustainable. I know we all been in situations where we go, this is unsustainable. So we got two choices at that point. We can either imagine and emotionalize our way up out of it, or we can just lay down and die and wait for it to take us. And most of the time, that kind of death is not a merciful death. It's a slow, painful one. So instead of giving in to that quote unquote unsustainable situation, let's visualize, let's emotionalize, let's get ourselves up out of that. Some of us on here saying, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. When the last time you visualized yourself being 20 pounds younger, lighter? Some of us look at ourselves and go, I really like the way I'm looking. I want to change my look. You visualize how you want to look? How do you put your mind in a state to get what you want? Some of us say, I just want to be happy. Right now, I'm just not happy. But I'm pretending like I'm happy because I'm in this situation that's so difficult and it's so unsustainable. I'm trying to be happy, but man, this is hard. And the more and more the situation continues to go, the more time continues to pass. Now I'm tripping like, oh my God, I'm getting older. Am I going to ever have what I want? Start here. Start here. Start visualizing. That's no disrespect, right, to your ability to survive the situation that you're in. You don't have to think about it 24/7, but visualize yourself being happy, being healthier, being wealthier, being loved and cared for in a way that you've never felt, or having the opportunity to love and care for someone like you never have before. Feel that. Visualize that. See, you can do it. I know you can do it. And the reason why I know you can do it, I was just listening to a song before we started. I won't play it because I know they'll put us down. They'll take it down. It was Mary, Don't You Weep. And she was talking about how Mary and Martha they saw Lazarus and he had died. And they had all but gave up because Jesus wasn't there. They went to go get Jesus. And Jesus like, calm down, just calm down. Show me where you laid him down. Show me where you buried him. And Mary was mad. She said, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Took him to the grave. And he said, don't weep no more. Just go home. And then Lazarus showed up like a natural, well-made man. See, that's faith. We believe in those stories. We believe in that. We believe in Ezekiel's wheel, and we can read it in the Bible and believe it, but we have a hard time believing that they're talking about us. Why is that so hard? It's because we've been brainwashed. And see, creativity is not being fake and imaginary. Creativity is a manifestation process. See, a lot of us don't like to emotionalize and visualize and fantasize. We don't like to do that because we feel like that'll make us fake. That'll make us weird. No, that'll put you on the road to being a powerful manifester. You got to fantasize. You got to visualize. You got to emotionalize. You got to put yourself, you can literally right now mentally put yourself in a place where you want to be. And the next thing you know, things start evolving. This is why it's so important to program yourself. So important. You start thinking, when I look back on my life and I start thinking about the patterns of my life, and right now I am literally living out most of what I emotionalized and visualized and fantasized about as a child. All but one thing, but most of it I'm living out. That's how powerful the mind is. So I'm gonna end on that note. We can't give up. And when you give up, your body shows signs of you giving up. You don't look good no more. You don't feel good no more. You can look at somebody and tell that they've given up. And what I'm saying to us, stop giving up. And I don't care if you can't think of anything to do. You can't think past the situation you're in. You're looking at something you want. You're going, I'll never have it because I'm in this situation. But you can fantasize. You can emotionalize. You can visualize. And when you get yourself in that state, you ask Allah to give you what you've been dreaming about. And if you allow him, you'll see where your mind and your body will start moving in that direction. If you can make yourself sick, you can make yourself well. All right, family, peace and blessings. You all see the Don't Chip and Dip Me this morning. See the donation thing going across the bottom. You can cash app your donation to $Mo Today, MOETODAY. That allows us to keep this platform going. Make sure that you join the mailing list. Do for self, DO the number 4 SELF to 855-574-9099. That's important because I'm getting ready to launch some new services and some new products that you're going to want to be first on. And so I'm not even going to tell you what they are. I just got to tweak a couple more things, but there's a series of things that are coming out that you want to be a part of. There's cost centers related to the mind of an entrepreneur, new things coming up you're going to want to know about. And then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, we're building, or Sajdah House, we're building 12 different cost centers. Because I don't want to be raising money every year. We build these cost centers that are going to be so beneficial and so fun for you all. So stay close, okay? Donate. I don't care if you have $1, $5, $50, $100, $200. Why do I say that? Because you want to get yourself out of the mode so that when you receive something good, you give. So when you receive good, you give. You want something, you give. And you want to create that flow into your life. If you go to church and somebody say a good word, give something. If you go to a lecture, somebody say a good word, give something. When you're in need, you always want to give. What happens is we start to live this subtraction lifestyle where we're just sucking everything out of the universe and trying to figure out how we can hold on to it. But that's why you ain't got nothing. When you live like that, you want to give. You want to let go and give. So you want to create a cycle in your life. Now, I'm not saying be stupid. Don't just go give away all your stuff, but have a mindset of creating that flow in your life. And those of us who have learned that will find that we live more abundantly. But when you're in survival mode, when you are just scratching and surviving, you live a subtraction lifestyle. So you get something, you see something, you snatch it up. You can't give a compliment. You can't give a smile. You can't give a service. You can't give love. Why? Because you're afraid that if you give up that smile, that compliment, that dollar, that it's going to take away from what you got because you think this is your last. How you going to say you serve a God who owns and creates everything and then say, well, this is my last? All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. So yeah, stay tuned because some of those announcements are going to be coming out really, really soon. And the people in the mailing list are going to know first and foremost. All right. So peace and blessings, family. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in today. I can't think of who we have on the show Wednesday. I got to get with my show coordinator. She's working on that and putting it together. But peace and blessings. Porn Praise 2. I see you in the chat. I didn't get to speak to you earlier. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Anissa, assalamu alaikum. Also help us out. Get your Mind of an Entrepreneur sweatshirts. I just love them. I love the whole brand, the whole concept. So we got a ton of stuff we're launching. And if you don't have my book, you see it right here up in the corner. Go to Amazon. Go to Amazon and buy a couple and give them away. That's what I've encouraged a lot of people do. I have people who buy 10, 15 of them. Little hint, probably in 2024, next year, we may have part 2 coming out. But with all this other stuff, we'll see. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Love y'all. Happy Saturday. Don't live a subtraction life. Add, give value, love somebody. The greatest skill you can have in the world is the ability to love. Peace and blessings.